The sun is shining in the sky, hardly a cloud in sight, and we are going to have a fantastic race here today.
Drivers, start your engine!
Cause we want retribution. Yeah, we want retribution.
But coming to the green here, it's getting cleaned out real well. Pace car's off, kick some ass.
There's the green flag and we're underway.
Green, 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 green. Outside, still there at your door. Good job, man. Nice and solid. Good case up.
Three wide.
Here, Hawkins into the wall.
Oh, big trouble!
Crash in the back. Oh, there's a crash in the back.
Trouble.
Great job, doing awesome, buddy.
And hello race fans, and welcome here to the Riki Raceway for the 7th time in the WRLA NOS Energy Cup Series season. We are going racing in the Maple Leaf 500 here at this one of several fictional racetracks here in the 2026 season. Of course, we were at the Minnesota Motorsports Park earlier in the year. Then we were at the Autodrome Café Norte over in Brazil. And now here we are at the Riki Raceway here, a fictional super speedway, kind of smaller than Daytona and Talladega, but still very much so behaves like a super speedway, as we've seen in years past, and also in other NR leagues altogether. And we're going to see a lot of great action from here at the Riki Raceway. 89 laps of action is the distance here for these Cup drivers. Of course, we were here last year, and it saw Rogel Dorn nab his second career win obviously his second win of the season and of his career here in the NOS Energy Cup Series back in September. But in case if you missed out on the action of just previously in the NOS Energy Cup Series season, just about a couple of weeks ago, we were at the Martinsville Speedway, and that saw Eric Monaco nab his first career victory, finally nabbing his first career win at the Martinsville Speedway. And I gotta tell you, Eric Monaco himself, he was absolutely excited when he won his first race here in the WRLA. And you know, Powerhouse Crown Racing has been one of those sleeper teams ever since coming into WRLA last year, with Crown himself winning at Michigan, and then Monaco having himself a very quiet 2026 season. And here we are in 2026. He winds up with his first career win just a couple of weeks ago to round out April. And now here we are in the month of May, which you're going to be seeing WRLA quite a bit throughout this month of May. Of course, we've got our standalone Cup race here at Riki Raceway. Talladega will follow with Xfinity and Cup. And then I believe in just a couple of weeks' time, if memory does serve me right, let me go ahead and get my handy dandy schedule here out. We'll be at the Iowa Speedway on the May 15th, 16th weekend for the WRLA and for Xfinity and Cup Series. Trucks will be at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on the 21st, followed by the Xfinity and Cup Series being at the Texas World Speedway on the 22nd and 23rd. And then we're rounding out the month of May with the Indiana Bash, the annual Indiana Bash for the Menards Truck Series at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And the Xfinity and Cup Series will be ending it off strong at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on the 29th and the 30th. Of course, the trucks will be on the 28th. But man, lots to really look forward to here at the Riki Raceway. And just in case, if you guys have not heard, this is the month where we're going to be having ourselves a double points month. So for those that may not know, it is traditionally, it would be 1 bonus point for leading a lap, 5 for leading the most laps, 10 for winning the race, all that on top of the 40 traditional points for finishing in first, second, 35 for second, 34 for third, and so on. Well, here for the month of May, it is a bit different. They are doubled. So for leading a lap, you get 5 bonus points. For leading the most laps, it is 10. And for winning the race, it is 20 bonus points. You accumulate it all together with the 40 traditional points for finishing in first. You get 76 total points, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a very, very crucial month here. And before we even get this party started, the first thing we're going to have to do is review the point standings here, because there's going to be several drivers on this list that are definitely going to need these really good runs. Of course, you see Tanner Parton having himself a pretty good margin over Terry Walker with 162 points to his name. Ramsey third, and after his win at Martinsville, Monaco jumps up to fourth. Russell Blaze rounds out the top 5 with 138 points to his name. How about Mercedes Davis, 9th on the standings? There's Skip Silver. There's Ryan Davis, another duo of rookies, of quite a few other rookies that are actually doing really well so far in the season. There's our defending champion, Kyle Craven, 98 points to his name. Hasn't even broken 100 points. He will after tonight, amongst several other drivers on top of that. Sebastian Vaughn having himself a great run so far. It's still continuing, top 20 in the standings as we continue on here. But as I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of drivers that will be in dire need, and this is the time to get those all those bonus points, those double bonus points, because that's going to be crucial as the season goes on. Because once we go back to normal, it's going to be very, very difficult to try to of course, gain positions throughout the points. There you see Stapleton. He's kind of right where he has been. Roberto Crown Jr., the first quarter of the season, he has been in trouble. Claire Phillips, Shania Hill, of course, not faring too well at all this season either. But man, if you're any of those drivers that are at the bottom of the point standings, this is your time. This is going to be their time, their opportunity to try to nab as many points as they possibly can before the month is done and over with. So we've got quite a bit of time here for the quite a bit of time, obviously, with these bonus points, and it's going to be a very, very crucial time for a lot of those drivers at the very, very bottom of the point standings. And they better hope and pray that drivers like Tanner Parton don't take full advantage of it and try to increase the points gap. That would be absolutely catastrophic for everybody else in the field that are trying to catch that 07 of Tanner Parton. We did not have qualifying today, so the starting grid has been set via points, and we're going to review all that here. And you're going to see the drivers that are in tonight's race when it comes to the part-time drivers. And it's going to be a very, very interesting time from here at the Riki Raceway. My goodness gracious. I mean, there's Emily Anderson rounding out your top 10 here for tonight, as we're going to take a look at the next page here for the starting grid. Wyatt Walker 17th, so starting 17th. Kyle Craven, as we mentioned, he's the defending champion. He's starting 18th. So again, a lot of these points, the starting lineup has been set via points here, ladies and gentlemen. So this is gonna be, like I said, this is gonna be a very, very interesting time here at the Riki Raceway. And the points themselves, they are for sure going to change up massively here by the time that this night is all said and done here, ladies and gentlemen. There's really not much else I can say, but the first quarter of the season has been absolutely spectacular. There's Ryan, as you can see, there's the drivers that are in tonight's race: Ryan Gundillo, Martin Nixon, Eric Blaze, Haley Curris, and on top of that, you also have the home country hero of Nikki Fox in the 41st position, and then Michael DeFeo rounding it out in the caboose. What a time to be alive here in the WRLA, and this is going to be one hell of a month for the month of May, obviously. One hell of a month for WRLA altogether, and for NR 2003 and racing. This is going to be a lot of fun. I don't know what else to really say. I'm just excited to get this going here, to get the month of May started with the WRLA NOS Energy Cup Series at Riki. We've had an amazing 6 races to kick off the year. How will the month of May play out? The drivers are strapped into their cars. Pre-race ceremonies are just now starting to wrap up, but in order to get these 42 behemoths rolling on the racetrack, we got to get the command to fire the engines. So let's go trackside and get just that.
Drivers, start your engines.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Engines are fired. Pace car is rolling off, and so are these 42 competitors. 89 laps to distance here at the Riki Raceway, and this pit road is obviously very unique, and it's kind of a blessing. Almost a gift and a curse at the same time, because you could still crash here in this pit lane, in this access road to get back out on the racetrack. But the good news is, obviously, it's separated from the rest of the racetrack, so it wouldn't really, unfortunately, wouldn't hinder really the pace of the race. If you have a record there on that access road, it would have to be on the racing surface, obviously, in order for a caution to come out. But regardless of that, this is going to be one hell of a month here, ladies and gentlemen, as the field works their way through turns 3 and 4. Rogel Dorn is the defending winner of this race, the Maple Leaf 500. Can he go back to back? We're just going to have to find out as the field works their way through turn 4. It is Tanner Parton and Terry Walker, first and second in the point standings, pacing the field off of turn number 4. These drivers are going to see speeds up to about 215 miles an hour as the pace car is off. Tanner Parton and Terry Walker are going to lead the field of the green flag to get the month of May underway here at the Riki Raceway. Already up through the gears and everybody getting double file, at least momentarily. We will eventually see 3 wide, and we already are. Trinity Anderson getting moved up to the extreme high side. That third line with Ryan Davis trapped in the middle. Meanwhile, Parton's going to lead lap 1. He will be the first to nab those 5 bonus points. That is slightly bad news if you're Terry Walker. The good news is it is very, very early in this race, so there's going to be a lot of drivers that are going to be nabbing those 5 bonus points for leading a lap, and don't mind that visual effect there, ladies and gentlemen. If there is a caution, chances are that visual effect is going to go away. So I do apologize for the glitching that you're about to see here for a little while. So hopefully that does subside as this race progresses on. Zachary Fitzwater in the 98. He goes to the point with Mercedes Davis in tow down there on the inside line. He's got Skep Silver and Noah Clifton. Wyatt Walker in 19 is up there in tow. The Bass Pro Shops colors here for tonight, and Satan himself has possessed the graphics, obviously, as you could definitely tell. But heading through turns 3 and 4, Clifton down on the inside, Skep Silver on the outside, and now Bass Pro Shops is in the middle of a Monster Energy sandwich, if you will. Sebastian Vaughn on the bottom, and Mercedes Davis up on the top, as Clifton is going to lead that lap. Whoa. Clifton's going to lead that lap over everybody. And so far, everybody has been able to buy their time about 3 wide almost throughout this entire field. And almost 3 wide for the lead again. Steven Walker in that 24. He kind of had a thought of making it 3 abreast for the top position, but he didn't act on that thought, and he's going to be stuck in that middle line at least momentarily, as Satan himself will not stop possessing those graphics, if you will. And Ryan Little down to the inside. It's going to go to the point, and they are 3 wide all the way through the field until you get to the back part. And man, that is not a good sight to see. Here's Bobby McGuire in the number 18. He did compete in this race back in September last year and was actually in this spot on the pack when he got involved in a huge crash that took out at least several cars, including Bobby himself, at least out of contention for Bobby. But he's up top 3 wide. And now you got Travis Crampton, CG Halt down there on the inside. A lot of drivers that are already in dire need of some really good points. They are up here at the front of this field. CG Halt and Nathan Stapleton are 2 of them. Travis Crampton is another one, as they are 3 wide for the top spot. And they're 3 wide all the way through this field as they come off of turn number 4. Stapleton's going to lead this lap over fellow Indiana driver Zachary Taylor down there on the inside, and all the other part-time cars with Janiah Hill in the mix. Of course, Hill is not part-time this year. She is full-time. She was last year, though. I don't believe she could be. And we're crashing in the back. Huge crash down the back. Straight away, multiple cars collected. Oh, my goodness. Blaze involved. Sebastian Vaughn. Andrew Miller spitting down on the inside, along with Stephen Walker. I saw Fitzwater involved in that one. First caution of the night is out, and it is Ryan Gundillo that's going to lead him back to the caution on lap number 8. Huge crash down the back straight away, and that saw several cars involved in that one. There's Stephen Walker in the 24. Looks like he's going to be out of it early, along with Andrew Miller in the 96. A little bit of right side damage to his car, so I think he should be okay. Skep Silver doesn't really, it looks like a little bit of rear end damage on his machine, so he should be okay. I think I saw Emily Anderson involved in that one. Wyatt Walker in the number 19. Man, that's such a shame. Walker started mid-pack in this race, and unfortunately the wreck happened while he was mid-pack, and man, that's, I hope it's not game over for Wyatt. He does have a bit of driver side damage on his car, but I think he should be okay to continue on. I did see Russell Blaze in the 29. He was sideways at the back part of the field. Doesn't look like he has a lot of damage to his car, so I think he should be okay. But man, first caution of the night flies on lap number 8. And leading the charge is the number 51 of Ryan Gundillo. I do apologize for the ticker glitching for some odd reason. But all the other cars that have damage, they are already going down pit road to get the damage assessed, or are already back out. You saw Sebastian Vaughn make his way back out on the racetrack just a few moments ago. And several cars are already coming on in to get their damage repaired and or at least assessed before they can get back out. So we might not have a whole lot of retirees here in this race, but irregardless of that, it is the number 51 of Ryan Gundillo leading the charge here at the Riki Raceway. Let's go back and review what happened that caused that first caution of the afternoon here at the Riki Raceway. There was a lot of activity that was happening at the back part of the field that saw a lot of cars go out. That saw something happen. Obviously, something happened back there, but there was a lot of cars that wound up getting caught up in that jam session. And survey says it was a little bit of 4 wide that happened. There's actually some wrecks that happened in 2 different spots. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at a replay as to what happened that caused our first caution of the night from here at the Riki Raceway. It was 4 wide that happened back here. You're going to see Nikki Fox in the 32. She is stuck in the middle. And we're going to slow this down just a little bit more. Fitzwater was involved in that one. And I do believe, yeah, Claire Phillips just came up on the nose of the 32. And then it was a domino effect. Skep Silver got into Abby Walker, then Abby got into Wyatt, and then it was on from there. And there's just more wrecking that happened up at the front. And a little bit further up, there's Clifton, Stephen Walker, Sebastian Vaughn, Andrew Miller winds up going around, and I think even Russell Blaze almost had this missed, and then he just gets into the left front fender of the 6 of Emily Anderson. We could do an onboard, but however, the problem is there's going to be a lot of frames that would be dropped here, so I'm not risking that. But goodness great, what an interesting way to start things off here at the Riki Raceway. I mean, 4 wide was going to be, it could have been a topic of conversation. I mean, it almost was, but we're going to take a look at this from the aerial view here from the Riki Raceway. And man, this all was just caused by the reaction of all the drivers that happened to that just were reacting to what was going on behind them, or actually not really what was going on behind them, but just there was a lot of jostling around and a lot of wiggling around, and unfortunately, it collected a lot of cars. Actually, doesn't look like there's a lot of damage on Russell Blaze's machine, so he should be okay. As will a lot of other drivers as well, so they should be fine here to continue on here at the Riki Raceway. But man, what a unfortunate set of circumstances for several cars that are definitely going to be not out of this one, but definitely going to have their chances kind of hindered just a little bit here as we are heading back over to live action from here at the Riki Raceway. All the drivers that are in the pits, they have gotten their damage assessed and they're getting ready to come back out onto the racetrack. For those that are just now tuning in, we just got one to go. We were working our first caution of the night that flew on lap number 8, and we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing with all the drivers that were at the that were in pit road. They are making their way back out on the racetrack right now, so for some drivers, I think they should be okay to continue on. Your top 10 is going to look like this as they come back to the restart. It is Ryan Gundillo leading the charge. Then Janiah Hill is in second. Zachary Taylor in third. Eric Blaze in fourth. Then running in fifth is the number 67 of Andrew Ramsey. Nathan Stapleton in sixth. Then in seventh is Jerry Rose. Running in eighth is Terry Walker. CG Holt is ninth, and Alex Sanvatali rounds out your top 10. Field comes off of turn number 4, and it will be Ryan Gundillo leading them back to the green flag to restart the Maple Leaf 500 on lap number 10. Here we go. Boy, a lot of jostling around back there. Zachary Taylor tried to go high, and I think Eric Blaze had a similar idea, but inevitably, that just saw Eric Blaze just duck right back down to the bottom as he's going to trail Janiah Hill, who's going for the top position on Gundillo. So move that number 7 Pokemon Go machine up to the top spot momentarily. Here comes Eric Blaze in the 26 down on the inside with Ramsey and Stapleton and Rose right there in tow, along with Terry Walker, Alex Sanvatali, and our winner from just a couple weeks ago, Eric Monaco, as he moves up into the top 10 for the first time tonight. They're 3 wide for second. Nathan Stapleton on the bottom. Stapleton came close to winning this race last year. Definitely pulled up to the back bumper of Rogel Dorn there on the last lap, but just was not able to pull up alongside Dorn to make something happen for a photo finish coming to the checkered flag last year. But for Nathan Stapleton, he has not won. He hasn't won since Auto Club Speedway in 2020 out in Fontana, California. So he's definitely looking to break that dry spell here tonight. So it has been well over 6 years since Stapleton has gone to victory lane, but now he's going to be put up on that second line there by Jerry Rose in the 00. He managed to get his first win at Pocono last November in a very dramatic fashion. And now he's leading the charge here at the Riki Raceway. Here comes Terry Walker right down to the inside with Alex Sanvatali in tow. You also have the 31 of Eric Monaco right there. Travis Crampton, he got his first win at Talladega last year. He'll be going into next week's race as the defending winner and as a full-time driver. He was part-time last year. Now looking to try to get his second career win here tonight. If not, he could do it at Talladega in just 1 week's time. And they're coming up on the slower car. That's Rogel Dorn. He does not have any help whatsoever, but doesn't look like he's got a lot of damage on that car, but the speed difference is going to be huge here. 203 versus 219, about a 15-mile-an-hour difference as they come up to him through the tri-oval. And they're going to pick him up here. Whoa, Crampton goes high. And that's going to open up the door for Bobby Maguire to dive to the inside. He's going to go to the lead and right around the 86 of Rogel Dorn. And he's going to bring Haley Curtis in the 9 with him. And Janiah Hill on top of that, and they're crashing again. Dorn around. He does a 360, keeps it going. But as for Crampton, he goes around. And Nathan Stapleton has got a ton of damage on that machine. Second caution of the night is out. And it's going to be Bobby Maguire leading them back to the stripe on lap 14. What in the world just happened there? And how in the world did Rogel Dorn get the car pointed back the right direction and continuing on? How is this even possible? He did a 360 on the back straightaway in front of at least a dozen cars, got the thing pointed straight and kept it going. But for Travis Crampton and Nathan Stapleton, they sustained a hefty amount of damage. Of course, Stapleton has got a lot of nose damage to his machine, so definitely going to be probably a busted radiator on that 97. But as for Travis Crampton, he just kept looping it around and around and around. It doesn't look like he sustained a lot of damage, but he's definitely going to have a little bit more of some extended time on pit road. And our points leader, Tanner Parton, in the 07. Man, this is definitely not the night that he wanted, and definitely not the way he wanted to start off his month of May. The good news is that it's still pretty early here in this race, and still a lot of time between now and the end of May if he wants to try to increase his points gap over Terry Walker. But Walker right now, he's running inside of the top 10 as there's going to be several cars coming on down pit road. Crampton is one of them, along with Nathan Stapleton, Fox, and a lot of others that are coming on down pit road. But your race leader is Bobby Maguire in the number 18 machine. We're working our second caution of the night. So let's go back and take a look at what happened that caused that second caution. And goodness gracious, this is definitely, that was probably one of the more oddball wrecks I think I've seen here at the Riki Raceway. Definitely not anything that's out of the ordinary, though, that's for sure. But Rogel Dorn in the number 86 did a 360 as the field pretty much just closed up onto him. Bobby Maguire was the luckiest one out of everybody here, because you see he got by Rogel Dorn, as did Curtis, Hill, and Ramsey. But Travis Crampton was the most unfortunate out of all of them here. So you're going to see Dorn, he's going to slide up into the path of the 61 and just kind of squeezes him into the wall here, and it's on. Dorn just goes around in front of Roberto Crown Jr., who has a little bit more contact from Crampton. And oh, there's where Michael DeFeo kind of gets involved here, as does Jerry Rose and Nikki Fox. Nathan Stapleton doesn't have too much else of a place to go. Eric Monaco is involved in this one. But this is where Nathan Stapleton got the significant amount of hood damage as well. And ooh, heads up driving there by both Blaze and Kyle Craven, riding nose to tail off of one another, and they both managed to get by Travis Crampton perfectly fine. But man, this is not the night that Travis Crampton, not the way that he was wanting this to kind of turn out for him. But just look at this. Amazing that Dorn was able to get it straight and going again. But as for Crampton, he just went around and around and around. Probably might have been listening to the Beach Boys of the round, round, get around, he gets around, but not in a good way. No, what in the world? What in the world just happened here? Jerry Rose, hold the phone here. Let's look at this. I think it was Skep Silver not anticipating. Wow. I think Skep Silver just wasn't anticipating the 0-0 of Rose to be in the middle of the racetrack, and he checked up as much as he could, but unfortunately he ran right into the back of Jerry Rose's car. That's stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I think Rose is just trying to get back on the racing surface, but the banking is just too steep. So unfortunately, he was not able to get back up on the racing surface right away, but he was able to get the car rolling. But he's still working on the race car as the field is being paced by Bobby McGuire here in this number 18, and they are coming to the restart. The lights are out on the pace car, and we will be restarting on lap number 17 rather. Skep Silver has gone behind the wall, unfortunately, so he is our first retiree of the night. So your top 10 is going to be looking like this as they come back to the restart. We're going to actually do this to be on the safe side. It is Bobby McGuire who is the race leader. Haley Curris in second. Janiah Hill in third. Then in fourth is Andrew Ramsey. Fifth is Roberto Crown Jr. Then in sixth is Terry Walker. Seventh is Eric Blaze. Then in eighth is Zachary Taylor. Ryan Gondillo ninth, and Ryan Davis rounds out your top 10. Our winner from the Arena Cafe Norte out in Brazil. Right now, top 10 as of right now, so not too bad there for the 77 of Ryan Davis. They come around through turn number 4 this time by. The ticker's just going to keep on glitching. And the field will be led by Bobby McGuire here in this number 18. They come back through the restart zone. I thought the game was going to crash, but thankfully it didn't. Restart is on from here at Riki. And both Curris and McGuire, they did get a pretty good restart. But McGuire's girlfriend and teammate, Janiah Hill, ducks to the inside of Haley Curris. So it is going to be a McGuire Motorsports 1-2 right now here at the Riki Raceway. Here on lap number 17 as both McGuire and Hill work their way down the back straightaway, but Hill is going to duck it down low on McGuire, and Haley Curris is going to go with her. Roberto Crown Jr. in tow along with Eric Blaze, and they're also coming up on Travis Crampton once again, so hopefully we don't have a replay of what we saw just a handful of laps ago with Rogel Dorn. At least that's the hope. Keeping our fingers crossed there, but Curris now takes the top position away from Janiah Hill as they work their way down the back straightaway once again. Got Eric Blaze there, Ryan Gondillo in tow as well. He was in this race last year, and I think he might have had a shot to win this thing. Unfortunately, just the cards weren't in his favor. We're just going to stay off that ticker for a little while and hope and pray that the glitches do subside, if you will, because the last thing I want is for the game to crash. But in the meantime, Kerr's kind of starting to pull away just a little bit from the rest of the field. And that may not be very good news here, but here they come on Crampton. Kerr is going to slide down to the inside. I think Janiah Hill was trying to do the same thing, trying to sneak her way down to the bottom, but just was not able to make that move happen. And now she's going to be trapped on the outside line, as will several other cars as well. And look at that bottom line. They're all just going to cycle right on through. Around goes Moore and Clifton. You also got Claire Phillips and Trinity Anderson. They have now started to work their way by the 61 of Crampton. You also got Wyatt Walker up here as well. As he's starting to go around that 61 of Crampton, making their way back through turn number 4. The ticker's still glitching. Ticker's still glitching with 20 laps complete here at the Riki Raceway. Now here comes Eric Blaze trying to get down to the inside. A part-time car has not won this year. So tonight could very well be the night that we could see a part-time car go to victory lane here in the 2026 NOS Energy Cup season. The closest thing that we've had to seeing a car with stripes go to victory lane, well, that would have been a rookie, and we've seen Ryan Davis go to victory lane at Brazil just about at the beginning of last month, the month of April, and now here we are in the month of May, now leading the charge here at the Riki Raceway. Quentin Moore following in tow, along with Nathan Stapleton, Claire Phillips in the 5 right there, following close suit. Teammate Trinity Anderson not too far back. Emily Anderson nowhere in the picture whatsoever. Let's go back and see if we can find her. And there she is, riding in the 26th position. You got to get past here by CG Holt and Michael DeFeo. So not the way she wanted to start off her month of May. There's Russell Blaze riding in the 30th position. Got teammate Steven Walker just ahead of him. But man, not the best way to start off your month of May, and even especially if you are the points leader of Tanner Parton here in this 07. Man, things just not looking too bright here to kick off this month. If you are the number 07 of Tanner Parton, but he does have a 39-point cushion between himself and Terry Walker, and Terry, as you can see, he's riding in the 16th position, but still has a pretty good opportunity to nab some good points to try to close the gap between himself and Parton. So there's still a lot of time between now and even the championship in November. But this month is probably going to be your most crucial month as they catch that number 54 Sebastian Vaughn coming off a 2. And this is going to allow Ryan Davis to pull away. And now they're going to try to do everything they can to get by this slow number 54 of Vaughn. Claire Phillips going to get absolutely held up, along with Blaze and Curris and Gondillo and so many other cars. And in the process of all of that, this has allowed other drivers that haven't been in the top 10 yet today, or haven't been in a little bit, they're right back up in the mix. Take, for instance, Wyatt Walker here in this 19. He was involved in that crash on lap number 8. He's already up into the 6th position. Trinity Anderson now up inside of the top 5, and now going to get contested by the 19 of Walker. And here goes Quentin Moore with some help from Noah Clifton and Roberto Crown Jr. to get by Ryan Davis for the top spot, and the caution flag waves on lap 25. Quentin Moore is going to lead him at the stripe. 3rd yellow flag of the night falls. And we had a crash on the back straightaway, and it definitely involved the 54 of Sebastian Vaughn, who is now making his way into the pits. And Michael DeFeo, lots of damage to his car. He is going to be done for the afternoon here at the Riki Raceway. But my goodness, Quentin Moore in the 04, leading the charge from here at the Riki Raceway, with just now 25 laps complete. And to slow down quite a bit so that way he can let the pace car by. And thankfully, this is not the pace car that you would typically see on iRacing, because sometimes when a caution flies and the pace car hasn't come out of the racetrack yet, sometimes it takes a few minutes sometimes for the pace car to catch up. And when it does, that thing could go about 300 miles an hour and could cause a lot of drivers that are on the iRacing scene to definitely kind of wet their pants a little bit. And thankfully, this is a video game, and thankfully there's none of these fictional drivers, at least the ones in the cars, are really doing much of that. But the pits are open and it is busy. A lot of drivers are already coming in and taking 4 tires and topping off on fuel. So a little bit of fuel strategy, a pit strategy taking place here under this caution. And there's Skylar Taylor in the 41. Lots of damage to their machine. Gonna be curious to see what that's gonna look like as, yep, looks like they will be continuing on, but it is gonna be now the 99 of Noah Clifton leading the charge, and as the field cycles around the track, let's go back and see what happened to the 54 of Sebastian Vaughn that brought out that third caution of the night from here at the Riki Raceway. Must have gotten hit there. Actually, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. So it was a little bit more than that, but we're going to show you just exactly what happened to Sebastian Vaughn, and he had himself a very wild ride here. He's going to hold up Zachary Fitzwater and several others in this calamity that comes off of turn number 2. You're going to see Zachary Taylor in the 85. Vaughn is going to come up. He's going to try to get out of the way, but here comes Zachary Taylor, gets into the right rear quarter panel of Vaughn and turns him right up into the outside wall and lifts that 54 up into the air. Zachary Fitzwater getting a nice look at that suspension as he gets involved in this one. Kyle Craven, unfortunately, nowhere to go in this incident. Bobby McGuire just narrowly gets by the 28. And that's where Skylar Taylor got their damage on the right-hand side of your screen. Just made some contact with Kyle Craven, and Ryan Gundillo going flying into the air after getting hit by the 60 of Michael DeFeo. So unfortunately, we're going to have some more retirees here in this race. DeFeo is going to be amongst them, along with Zachary Fitzwater and Kyle Craven, after this incident that happened just coming off a turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Just look at that 54 flying through the air. And several other cars getting involved in that one. My goodness. Let's actually show you show the incident from our nun cam here as the cars are coming right at us down the back straightaway. Just lots of debris getting shed and flown around or flung into the air as Fitzwater and Craven and especially Vaughn, Ryan Gundillo, and also Michael DeFeo, man, they took some very hellacious rides here at the Riki Raceway as we are getting ready to go back to live action here on lap number 27. They'll be restarting on lap 28. It is the 99 of Noah Clifton leading the charge, and there you see the retirees. That would be Kyle Craven, Zachary Fitzwater, and Michael DeFeo. They join Skep Silver in the garage area, but your top 10 is going to look like this as they get ready to restart this race. It is Noah Clifton leading the charge, Quentin Moore, or at least it should be Ryan Davis in second. Then in third, I do want to say that would be CG Holt. Then running in fourth, that would be Alex Sanvitali. Russell Blaze, I believe, would round out your top 5. Then in sixth would be Nikki Fox, and in seventh would be Eric Monaco. Then running in eighth, I don't even know, because the problem is these caution periods are so short. We won't be able to know exactly who's running where by the time the green flag waves and everybody's already crossed the start finish line here. But we're gonna find out where everybody stacks up as Noah Clifton is gonna lead him to the charge with 27 laps complete here in Riki. Ryan Davis already taking it downstairs on the 99 of Noah Clifton. He's going to go to the point. CG Holt not too far back there in that 17 machine. He's going to get to the inside of Sanvitali. Russell Blaze, who was in the back, he was 30th when we last saw him. And now he's back inside of the top 5. running in the 4th position behind CG Halt. Halt is another driver that is in dire need of some points here, as he is 31st in the point standings. Definitely going to be needing a good points night here tonight. He goes to the inside of Noah Clifton for that 2nd position. Eric Monaco is up here running in the 4th spot, but scored 5th as of right now. There's Nicky Fox, hometown hero, running in the 6th position. Then it is Steven Walker. Actually, he's going to be 7th with a lot of rear end damage to his car. And then you have Alex San Vitale in 8th, then Andrew Miller 9th, and Andrew Ramsey rounding out your top 10. But what an interesting turn of events that we're starting to witness here at the Riki Raceway. Kind of interesting of how all these cars are split up. It's just interesting of how all these cars are just split amongst themselves, because look at this. We've have at least 4 to 5 to 6 different packs, as everybody is just trying to find their spot, or at least not just find their spot, but more importantly, they're just trying to buy their time. And everybody that has little to no damage, they're all trying to get by the cars that do. Here's Bobby Maguire getting to the inside of Quentin Moore. This would be the battle for the 11th position here, and indeed it is. So Maguire just 1 spot closer to getting inside of the top 10. The problem is the 2nd pack is not too far, is a little bit further out. And then you have the lead group, which has about 5-6 cars, all of which are still on the lead lap and still running in this race. You also have Zachary Taylor in this 85, who... So this night, unfortunately, has gone from good to bad, then to good again, then back to bad, and now worse here for Zachary Taylor, as he is about to go 1 lap down. Look at the speed difference here between the two, the race leader and also the tail end of the lead lap car of Zachary Taylor. That was about a 20-mile-an-hour difference down the back straightaway, and Ryan Davis uses Taylor as a pick, and he's going to go right on by him and have him hold up the rest of the other leaders to definitely get himself a pretty big gap here. The problem is you definitely don't want to have a large gap like this, as CG Halt gonna get a good draft off of the 77, pull right back up here eventually. Supposes a little bit of that rookie experience here for the 77 of Ryan Davis. Of course, this is his first trip here to the Riki Raceway. As for drivers like CG Halt and even the 99 of Noah Clifton, they've been here before, especially Clifton. Clifton's been here in several different NR series, one of which I do believe it might have been NRLA McDonald's Cup Series action several years ago, if memory does serve me to be correct. But it's also been here in WRLA action. That came last year when the WRLA made its long-awaited and triumphant return here at the Riki Raceway. Of course, this is the place that started it all back in 2017, back when we had the Canadian 500 that saw Alex Hawkins win over Alex Bonsignor to become the first ever points winner in the NOS Energy Cup Series. Got Sebastian Vaughn right up there, holding up the rest of the leaders, and it's actually kind of shocking to see that this car is still running, especially with with how much he's been through. Vaughn is he's a trooper right now, and he is he's doing God's work right now for the 2nd pack, but the 3rd group, because look at this, Bobby Maguire just pulled right up to Russell Blaze. He is got his foot all the way down to the floor as he's up to 7th. Now going to try to see if he can challenge for 6th here if he's able to. He does not have any help behind him, however. You have CG Hold, who's now going to get kicked back to 9th, as Ryan Davis still leads the charge. Monaco trying to go for 2nd. Nicky Fox running in 4th. Andrew Ramsey 5th, and there goes Bobby Maguire underneath the Blaze for the 6th position. You know, Blaze ran here in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series back a little bit earlier this year, or at least at some point. But nonetheless, Blaze has just not had any sort of good experience here at the Riki Raceway, whether it's been here in the WRLA Cup car or even in a Mission Barbecue Cup car. But here in this race, he's actually doing pretty well, running inside of the top 5 as of right now still, as they get by points leader Tanner Parton, sitting in the 34th position. Gonna hold up Clifton and also McGuire. Curtis, Hill, and even Stephen Walker are coming back up into the picture as well. But the pack is getting split up once again. Coming up on Ryan Gundillo in this 51. See if we can actually use the ticker. And actually, nope, the ticker is not safe to use here, ladies and gentlemen. The ticker is not safe to use. They come up on Gundillo. They swing low. Here comes Nikki Fox down to the inside. Going to try to take that race lead away. Heading into turn number 3. And Eric Monaco on that 31. Trying to search for his second win of the season. Trying to go back-to-back here in the NOS Energy Cup Series. Remember, one at Martinsville just a handful of weeks ago. And now going to looking to try to get his month of May started off right by winning here at the Riki Raceway. Russell Blaze trying to get his second career win. Remember, he won at Nashville last year, but that was all when he was driving for Ryan Durrani. Now wanting to win here as an owner driver in the Cup Series. Already is a winner has won as an owner. Remember earlier this year at the Minnesota Motorsports Park, it was Joshua Neely in the Xfinity Series. Managed to win on a last lap pass, getting by the 32 of Erica Douglas for the race win. Of course, Blaze was pretty emotional that night. I'm pretty sure he would be even more emotional if he were to get this win as an owner driver here tonight and get Death Rider Racing their first NOS Energy Cup win here in the WRLA. Right now running in the 3rd spot, coming up on Abby Walker and Skylar Taylor. And speaking of Minnesota, these were the 2 drivers that finished 1-2, but now they're 1-2 running on the racetrack. Of course, not scored 1-2, but they are 1-2 and getting these drivers all stacked up. Monaco down to the inside. That's for the top position. Russell Blaze is following. Eric Blaze almost got the door slammed in his face by Skylar Taylor, who's just trying to get out of everybody's way as best as they can. But now Ramsey gets by, as does Noah Clifton, along with Ryan Davis and Bobby McGuire. They get by. No harm, no foul done whatsoever. And now Monaco is going to lead here at the Riki Raceway. CG Halt has not strayed away from the top 5, obviously from this part of the pack at all. He's been kind of hanging around that 2nd position for a while. And obviously with the pack as small as it is fairly easy to do. Eric Blaze now right up there in that 3rd position. They're also coming up on Nathan Stapleton and Avery Alford, who are both drafting together here down the tri-oval, and let's see how this works out here. Oh, it gets absolutely held up there, and here comes Eric Blaze down to the inside. All 3 wide here. Alford getting shuffled out. And Andrew Ramsey now moving up into 2nd. You got Russell Blaze right there in 3rd. And how about this? The Blazes, father and son, right here in this lead pack. Of course, Eric leading the charge. Father Russell in 3rd. And here comes Andrew Ramsey to try to get on the attack. Down to the inside goes to number 67, who is going to get held up by Sebastian Vaughn. And there goes Ramsey for the top position, heading back into turn 1. And now father and son have found each other, and they are nose to tail. Question is Russell going to ditch his son to try to go for the 2nd position and potentially the lead? That is not going to be the case here, but it could happen. Maybe coming to the tri-oval or the next time around when they get to the back straightaway. Davis is not going to waste any time. He goes to the inside of Noah Clifton for the top, so for at least for the 4th position. Aaron Abel gets out of the way. And Abel's going to go 1 lap down. Remember, Abel doesn't really have a whole lot of damage to his car. So his speed should blend in with that. For the top position, you also got Russell, who's got shuffled up to the 2nd lane by Ryan Davis, who's now going to try to get 2 birds with 1 stone heading through the tri-oval. Not able to get the job done there. As Russell Blaze now gets to the inside of Andrew Ramsey and now his son Eric Blaze. It's now a 2-car tango for the top position, at least for the moment. Bobby McGuire in that 18 is caught back up. He's going to try to see if he can go 3 wide here for that 2nd position. We still cannot use the ticker, unfortunately. But nonetheless, coming around through turn number 4. Ryan Davis right back up to where he was in the earlier part of the race. Blaze now, Russell now moving up into 2nd officially with Bobby McGuire in tow. You got Nicky Fox right there. 2nd car on the inside line as here goes Bobby McGuire to the bottom. And now gonna allow father and son to reunite, this time on the outside line, as we are just past the halfway mark here in the Maple Leaf 500. And here we come on the points leader of Tanner Parton. And oh boy, that top side managed to get by perfectly fine. And now it's going to be the bottom that's going to finally get their chance to work their way around the slow Parton machine. Meanwhile, up front, there goes McGuire to the inside of Ryan Davis for the race lead, heading back through turns 3 and 4. So give that top position over to the 18 of Bobby McGuire as they come through the tri-oval this time by. Davis tried to put the crossover on McGuire. It did not quite work out to his benefit. But now you got Nicky Fox down there on the inside, and the home country crowd has to be going absolutely ballistic to see Nicky Fox right here in this 2nd position. Maybe going to try to see if she can go for that top position heading into turn number 3. Not going to be able to do so here. Going to stay glued to the back bumper of the sorry machine of Bobby McGuire. And oh boy, pit stops are getting ready to take place. Noah Clifton breaks off, and he's going to come to pit road. Looks like he's coming by himself. At least momentarily, he's the first car to break off and come to pit road. I have not seen anybody else make their pit stop just yet, but Bobby McGuire continuing to lead here at the Riki Raceway, heading back through turn number 3. And now let's see if there's going to be anybody else that will be making that turn down to pit road. I don't think it's going to be quite the case yet. Clifton has completed his stop. He's making... And they're fighting it out for second. CG Holt down to the inside of Nicky Fox. And it's actually kind of impressive that he's able to make this pass work because he does not have any help whatsoever. Davis stayed full committed to the 32 of Fox that entire way through turns 1 and 2. It's actually kind of impressive to see that feat of speed out of CG Hall as of right now. But now here they come on Terry Walker. McGuire's going to get by perfectly fine, but it's going to be Nicky. And now they come up on Sebastian Vaughn once again. And oh boy, CG Holt threads the needle and gets by the 54, no problems whatsoever. Coming around to complete the 52 of the scheduled 89 laps here for tonight. it is Bobby Maguire still leading the charge. Looking to try to get the maximum amount of points as he possibly can. He's already nabbed the 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Now looking to try to go for those 10 bonus points for leading the most laps. And if he is able to, the 20 bonus points for winning here tonight. Again, the accumulative total of those points, along with the 40 points of finishing in first, would be 76. Ryan Davis breaks off. He's coming to pit road. But he is by himself, and now he's going to have a partner in Andrew Miller, who now breaks off. He comes to the pits. And now let's see if there's going to be any other takers coming on down to pit road. It looks like Bobby Maguire just lost the lead because of Ryan Gondillo, I believe. He might have slowed up several of these other drivers as well. And now here comes Monaco. Monaco is now going to make his way down into the pits. And again, we're starting to see somewhat of a common theme of some of these drivers pitting by themselves. And it's kind of an interesting dynamic that we're really seeing. I don't recall this tail end of the race other than the tail end of the race, obviously, when we saw Nia Steidl come to pit road with a small handful of laps to go. Unfortunately, she was not able to go to victory lane last year. That went to Rogel Dorn, and he managed to beat out the guy that's actually pitting right now without a nose, that being Nathan Stapleton. But very, very interesting of what we're seeing here tonight. Nikki Fox now comes to pit road. She surrenders the 9th position, or the 2nd position rather, to make her stop. And meanwhile, coming up on the leaders who have caught Bonsignor, Skylar Taylor, and Abby Walker. You got Russell Blaze right there in tow, but I do believe we are getting ready to see more cars come on down pit road. Russell Blaze peels off, and he comes to the pits. And I don't believe I've seen any other drivers make their way down to pit road just quite yet. But we probably will here pretty soon. As CG Halt now has Andrew Ramsey right there in tow. And now Ramsey takes a peek to the inside of CG Halt for the top position. And they're both going to get held up by Alford and Stapleton. And now here comes Terry Walker and Alex Bonsignor. Remember, those drivers are not on the lead lap. And that is a perfect opportunity for Andrew Ramsey to take the race lead away, and a good chance for Bobby Maguire to capitalize on, as he's going to take advantage of CG Holt, who's now trapped on the 3rd line because of Avery Alford. But more particularly Nathan Stapleton, because of the damage that he has on his car. He's essentially running a modified out there on the racetrack. But now Maguire moves up into 2nd with Andrew Ramsey continuing to lead the charge. Holt now breaks off. He comes to pit road. But this is a very, very odd, a very slow green flag pit cycle that we're witnessing here at the Riki Raceway. Next time by, it will be 40 laps to go, or 30 to go, rather. From here at the Riki Raceway, down to the inside they go on Tanner Parton. And now let's see if I've yet to really see if there's going to be any other takers that will be coming on down pit road here. I mean, you got CG Hall. He's now starting to make his way back out onto the racetrack. But such an amazing sight to see that we're witnessing here at the Riki Raceway. A beautiful facility. Nonetheless, we've been racing here since 2016. I mean, overall, but as far as WRLA, we raced here one time, 1 year in 2017. Of course, Alex Hawkins won the season opener here, and Elijah Gordon won the halfway mark of the season. And then we returned here just 8 years later, and Rogel Dorn managed to hold off a hard-charging Nathan Stapleton back in September of last year. And now we are guaranteed to have ourselves a different winner here tonight, because Rogel Dorn is obviously not on the lead lap and not even in contention to win this race. But McGuire and Ramsey, you just saw it there. They absolutely got held up by Sebastian Vaughn, who is going about 195, rounded up, 195 miles an hour, but has been staying a consistent 192 on third gear. So he doesn't even have a fourth gear in that car. So he's been riding around the racetrack in third gear this entire time. So not sure why Sebastian Vaughn and the team would have Sebastian Vaughn stay out on the racetrack without a fourth gear. I feel like that would be pretty crucial to have a fourth gear here. But I think the issue that Vaughn will have as this race goes on is that as he's on that third gear, obviously he would hit a rev limiter if he kept his foot on the floor. But the problem is he's cooking up the water temps and even the oil temps in that car. So I'd say in a few laps time, that 54 is going to be making a trip back down to pit road, and probably with an expired motor. Maybe with the transmission completely blown out there on the number 54 machine. But Bobby McGuire in this 18, he's leading the charge here at the Riki Raceway. Andrew Ramsey now sitting in the second position. Running in third, that would be McGuire's girlfriend and teammate, Janiyah Hill. Then running in fourth is Eric Blaze. Your fifth place runner, that would be Haley Curris in the number 9 machine. Running in sixth is Roberto Crown Jr. He's in need of some really good points to get himself inside of the top 30. Running in seventh, we'd have to go all the way back here to Quentin Moore. Claire Phillips running in eighth. Then in ninth is Martin Nixon, and Val Musco, our winner from the Bash at the Beach at Kalamazoo Speedway, rounds out your top 10 with 25 laps of racing to go from here at the Riki Raceway. McGuire has himself a pretty good margin, not much longer here actually, as here comes the rest of the other cars that were not trailing a little bit further back. Janiyah Hill, Eric Blaze, Ryan Davis, all those other cars, they're here, and they're going to be contesting for that top spot. McGuire Motorsports 1-2 once again. And oh boy, here they come on Travis Crampton. Hill gonna make her way down to the inside, and Eric Blaze makes it 3 wide for the race lead. And here comes Eric Blaze in the 26 to the point. Still 3 wide for that top position, and now there goes Blaze to the point, clears of all traffic at least for another 0.5 seconds. Ryan Davis already answering the call down on the inside. Remember, he's trying to get back on the lead lap. And there's Andrew Ramsey in the 67, now moving back up into the third position. Now I'm going to try to get 2 birds with 1 stone here as Blaze and Hill still trapped on that outside line, and that's going to be the perfect opportunity that Ramsey needs to go back to the race lead here at the Riki Raceway. And Bobby McGuire just trapped behind all of these cars that are 1 lap down or more. And McGuire, the hopes and dreams of McGuire getting his first NOS Energy Cup Series win are fading away. But hold up, we got some more pit stops taking place. McGuire is in, along with Zachary Taylor in the 85. He's coming on in as well. Now we're starting to see green flag pit stops. I think they're starting to ramp up officially. I think we're just gonna have to wait and see who all else decides to come on down pit road. Aaron Abel makes his way back out on the racetrack. The field comes through turn 4. Ramsey now leading the charge. Ryan Gondillo down and away from his pit box. And now Ramsey still leading the charge behind Ryan Davis. Remember, Davis trying to get back on the lead lap, or at least try to get one of his laps back. No, this would be to try to get back on the lead lap. Here comes Maguire, who's already made his pit stop. Gonna easily merge right back up with the rest of the pack. And now here comes Ramsey and Janiah Hill. They both make the left-hand turn off the racing surface and onto pit road. So this is the first time that we're seeing two cars pit together. So that's very interesting. Bonsignor is now in. Here comes Val Mosco. Here's the other couple, a Mercedes Davis and Wyatt Walker. Both of those drivers, they're making their way down into the pits. How about that also for Mercedes Davis inside of the top 10? Wyatt Walker hasn't fallen too far back. Remember, Walker comes into this race 17th in the points standings. He started mid-pack, got involved in that crap in the big one on lap 8 down the back straightaway. And now back into contention for a top 10 finish. More cars coming on in. You saw Haley Curris make her way into the pits along with Roberto Crown Jr. And let's see who the race leader is. That would be Eric Blaze. You saw Hill and Ramsey make their way back up onto the racing surface. And now Eric Blaze slowing down. He's going to surrender the lead to come to pit road on lap 71. So now the top position, I think, would cycle back over. I think it would cycle back over to either Janiah Hill or Andrew Ramsey. Definitely Hill, obviously, because she's ahead of Andrew Ramsey. And oh boy, here they come on Tanner Parton. I think there was a little bit of contact between Janiah Hill and Tanner Parton. But thankfully, Parton does get out of the way. And now a little bit more bobbing and weaving starting to take place here. And now here comes Ramsey down to the inside. So right here would be the race for the lead and potentially the win from here at Riki. Eric Blaze, actually, hold on. He still has the lead. He merges back out on the track ahead of Andrew Ramsey. So Eric Blaze saying, nuh-uh, not so fast. Still got the top position. But Ramsey, still with the foot down to the floor, is going to rock it right by the Burger King Chevrolet. So now that will kick Blaze back to actually hold up a second. Wait just a minute. I think the cards played into Ryan Davis's favor. He managed to get back onto the lead lap, and now here he is. He is back in contention, leading the charge here at Riki. But Ramsey, who scored as the leader, takes it right back downstairs. And it's still not safe to use this ticker, guys. It is still not safe to use the ticker. But Ramsey tried to take it back downstairs, managed to barely lead over Ryan Davis, both of which now trapped behind Taylor and Walker. Abby Walker, to be more specific. But now I think this has turned into a 4-horse race for the win here at the Riki Raceway. Coming to 15 laps of racing to go from here at the Riki Raceway. Andrew Ramsey got held up quite a ton there behind Skylar Taylor and Abby Walker. Gonna have to hope and pray that, oh boy, he probably might have gotten his wish there. As Sebastian Vaughn still riding now 190 miles an hour on that third gear. Held up the front three leaders. And I don't think he got his wish, actually, as now he is, he probably might be getting a draft here on the 7 of Janiah Hill, but 3 Chevrolets, 2 rookies, 1 part-timer. And then you got the veteran of Andrew Ramsey trailing in that 4th position. He was one of those drivers that could have won at Martinsville, just a couple of weeks ago, but got involved in a crash late in the going and eventually lost the lead in the process. That race obviously saw Eric Monaco take the win. As these drivers, as we're closing in on 10 laps to go in a few laps time, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, next week we'll be at the Talladega Super Speedway. May 8th, we'll see the WRLA Xfinity Series make their return, and the NOS Energy Cup Series will be on track on the 9th, with qualifying at 1 p.m. and the race at 7. So back-to-back super speedway races here for the WRLA. That's going to be some action you don't want to miss. And as you saw there, everybody with the exception of Janiyah Hill managed to get by Ryan Gundillo very cleanly. But it took a little bit for Hill to get right. That has allowed Andrew Ramsey to pull back up into the picture. You got Stephen Walker in the 24 in tow, just a little bit ahead of the leaders. 210 versus 220 heading into turn 1. Of course, with Ryan Davis trying to get his second win of the season. And this would be huge because this would probably catapult him into the top 5 in the point standings with all the points that he'd be getting here tonight. And this would be absolutely huge. But now here they come on the 24 of Stephen Walker, Janiyah Hill trailing on the draft of the 67 of Andrew Ramsey. What are these front three gonna do? They're snaking up to the high side, and whoa, here goes Eric Blaze to the inside. Blaze down to the bottom with some help from the 67 of Andrew Ramsey, and Janiyah Hill is back in tow. Here we go, 2 hands up in the air, and they're all holding out 10 fingers. 10 laps of racing to go from here at the Riki Raceway. Eric Blaze leads it, and Andrew Ramsey trying to take it downstairs. Hill following in that number 6 in the number 7 machine. She's trying to get her second career win here tonight, first of the season, and trying to get herself out of dead last in the point standings. Now she works her way to the inside of Ramsey, Eric Blaze, and also the 77 of Ryan Davis in tow. And still not safe to use the ticker. God, it's okay. We'll still stay with the action, with obviously with what we have, with the resources that we can use. But Hill, clear of all traffic momentarily, manages to stay out ahead. It is, again, a 4-horse fight for the win. And if you want to know where the next lead lap car is, well, you'd have to go all the way back here. Down midway down the back straightaway, that's C.G. Holt, Bobby McGuire, Noah Clifton. They're all working together. And as they are making their way off of turn 4, these drivers are working their way into turn 1. Davis now down to the inside of Janiyah Hill. Andrew Ramsey looking to follow. They're coming up on Emily Anderson and Tanner Parton. They'll probably catch Parton first before they catch Emily Anderson. Maybe they'll catch both of them at the same time. We're just going to have to find out here in a couple of laps time. Actually, we won't have to wait long here for Tanner Parton. Here they come on to him. Parton, very wise, gets out of the way. And here they come on Sebastian Vaughn once again. Vaughn goes low and blocks the rest of the leaders. And there goes Ramsey. Ramsey sees the hold. He's going to fill it. Pause. And here goes Andrew Ramsey to the race lead. He's going to bring Janiyah Hill with him. And there goes Eric Blaze trying to get to the inside of Ryan Davis, but Sebastian Vaughn holds up the 26. That more than likely is going to be game over for Eric Blaze's chances of winning here tonight. It has now come down to Andrew Ramsey and Janiah Hill. Both trying to get their first win of the season. They're coming up on Emily Anderson. Believe they're going to have no problems at all snaking their way around the number 6 machine. And they get by Anderson with ease. Coming around, 5 fingers in the air, 5 laps of racing to go. Here in Riki. Ramsey to the inside of Janiah Hill. Back down into turn 1. Zachary Taylor's going to hold up, or will he be holding up? Andrew Ramsey, looks like that's not the case whatsoever, and Ryan Davis gets pulled back into the picture here, as here comes the 77 of Ryan Davis. Andrew Ramsey now clear of all traffic, and Emily Anderson, hold up a second, I think with... Oh, wait a minute, caution is out! Caution is out with 4 laps to go. I think we might be setting ourselves up. We might be setting ourselves up either for a green, white, checkered or a 1-lap shootout. It was for a crash on the back straightaway, of course. You see the skid marks. Oh my goodness gracious. Re-rack them, restack them. We might not be done yet. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, let's quickly go look at a replay to see what happened. That brought out what is our, I believe, our 4th caution of the night from here at the Riki Raceway. If I think it, I don't know if it would have had to do with a spin, if anything, but holy cow, I cannot even believe my eyes here. So let's see, let's see exactly what happened. I'm gonna keep my eyes on the pace car here. Lights are on, and ooh, that's actually not good whatsoever. So, ladies and gentlemen, a bad night for our points leader has unfortunately gotten worse. So here's a look at what happened that caused our most recent caution here tonight. Following along with Tanner Parton, you're going to see CG Halt, Bobby McGuire. This basically the second pack of cars come up on the 07. And obviously there is a huge difference in speed here. We're going to catch up here on the aerial coverage. And it looks like Parton comes up into the path of the 07 of the 17 of CG Halt. Just the speed difference being too great there for Tanner Parton as he tried to cover the top side, and around goes the 07 and the 17. So that is a tough break for CG Halt. What was going to be a good night for him, unfortunately, that has come to an end from here at the Riki Raceway. Just severely unfortunate there for CG Halt. Just trying to get by, or at least trying to get around the outside of Tanner Parton. But unfortunately, Parton just comes up on CG Halt. And fortunately, it was a 2-car spin. And you see that last bit of contact there for Tanner Parton hitting the inside wall. But fortunately, again, it was a 2-car spin. Unfortunately, one of the cars being involved was the 17 of Tanner Parton, or of CG Halt rather. But this, ladies and gentlemen, the plot to this one has just thickened here. And my, oh my, we might be in for one hell of a finish from here at the Riki Raceway. The pace car finally picks up the 67. And we might have ourselves a green-white checkered finish here at the Riki Raceway. And remember, the rule here is that if we have a restart inside of 10 laps to go, it is a single file restart. So this will make things very interesting for drivers that have a significant amount of damage to their cars that would be restarting in the middle of the field. I don't know how this will go, but I'm nervous. I am very, very nervous for this one. Lights are out on the pace car. We will have a green-white checkered finish. Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I gotta say to you. Oh boy. Let's have a look at your top 10 as they get ready to restart this thing here at the Riki Raceway. Andrew Ramsey is the leader. Ryan Davis is in second. Then in third is Janiah Hill. Running in fourth is Eric Blaze. Then in fifth, you'd have to go all the way back here. That's where Bobby McGuire is. Nikki Fox in sixth. Roberto Crown Jr. in seventh. Haley Curris in eighth. Noah Clifton in ninth. And rounding out your top 10, that would be Russell Blaze. Single file restart to settle this one here at the Riki Raceway. A green-white checkered, really, to settle the score. It's put up or shut up for the next 2 laps here in Riki. Last year's race ended under green flag conditions all the way to the end. This year, it is a green-white checkered. Here we go. Pace car is off. Who will win the Maple Leaf 500 here tonight? Rogel won last year. Who's going to win it this year? Andrew Ramsey brings them down to the green and gets things restarted. 2 laps to go. Davis dives low on Emily Anderson. Remember, she is not on the lead lap. And there goes the 77 of Ryan Davis. Janiah Hill going to try to duck to the inside to try to have herself an opportunity. But here comes Ryan Davis on the 67 of Andrew Ramsey. He's going to look low, or try to. Couldn't do it. Didn't have the run. And even if he did, Andrew Ramsey slammed the door. They worked their way off of turn 4. White flag is out. Ramsey leads it. Will he be leading? Coming back to the checkers. Let's find out. And that is going to be a definite no, as there goes the 77 of Ryan Davis to the top spot. But the question is, did he take the lead too early as they come off of turn number 2? Down the back straightaway one last time. Janiah Hill peeking the nose down low. They work their way into turn 3. Here comes Janiah Hill to the inside. They're 3 wide behind them, and they come off of turn number 4. Janiah Hill has the lead, and I don't know if it's going to be side by side. It won't be. Janiah Hill wins it here in Riki. I was getting a little antsy, and I thought it was going to be a side-by-side finish to the stripe. That's why I got a little bit confused there. But Janiah Hill, second career win here in the WRLA NOS Energy Cup Series. Her first as a full-time competitor, and she more than likely, after tonight, will move inside of the top 30 in the point standings. How about that here for tonight? On a last lap pass. I don't know what to say, what else to say about that, but what a race from here at the Riki Raceway. What a way to kick off a racing month. Andrew Ramsey comes home in second. Then in third will be Ryan Davis. Fourth will be Nikki Fox. Haley Curris rounds out your top 5. And then it is Eric Blaze finishing in 6th. Then Roberto Crown Jr. will finish in 7th. Finishing in 8th will be Noah Clifton. Bobby McGuire will finish 9th. And Martin Nixon rounds out your top 10. From 11th all the way down to 21st, everybody finished on the lead lap. 22nd all the way down to 38th. They all finished one lap down or more. And Kyle Craven, Zachary Fitzwater, Michael DeFeo, and Skep Silver were the only retirees from tonight's events. Wow. What a night. From here at the Riki Raceway, we got to actually see how many laps Janiyah led here. I highly doubt that was her only lap led. Highly doubt it. But regardless of that, she will leave here heading inside of the top 30 in the point standings. But I'm going to actually go back and take a look here just to see how many laps she led here for tonight. And survey says she led 5 laps here for tonight. Those 10 bonus points will be going over to Ryan Davis. He led the most laps here tonight with a race high of 21 laps led here at the Riki Raceway. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our action from here at the Riki Raceway. Huge congratulations to Janiyah Hill on nabbing her second career win here at the Riki Raceway in an amazing last lap pass on Ryan Davis. And that's going to do it for action here at the Riki Raceway. You'll be seeing your point standings in the Discord by the time that this premiere concludes. If you're watching this on the WRLA YouTube channel, if you're watching this live on Twitch, be sure to hit that follow button so you don't miss any sort of future content, including WRLA action that gets streamed here on the channel. If you are watching on the WRLA YouTube channel, if you like what you see, be sure to hit that like button and be sure to consider subscribing in order to keep up with some fine WRLA action all throughout the 2026 season and especially throughout the month of May. We will be back next week at the Talladega Superspeedway with the Xfinity Series on Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for Cup Series action, they'll be on track for qualifying at 1 o'clock, or 2 o'clock rather. And then the main event, the Geico 500, will be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. One more time, congratulations to Janiyah Hill on nabbing the win here tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a fantastic rest of your weekend. Take care, stay safe, and we will see you all right back here on WRLA. To convert more coverage of WRLA action at the Talladega Superspeedway. Have yourselves a good one, y'all.